Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, you can already see I prepared for Christmas already. We have the 1st December when I shoot this video. And today I want to talk about Christmas, family, and difficult conversations. Now, what does this mean? See, most of the people face very difficulties in having those special days, celebrating with your family, not really sure how to present yourself, not really sure how to communicate, not really sure if you can finally show up as the person you really are, and not knowing how to do that. So, let's have this difficult conversation together. Let's start with this. My name is Patricia. I'm a certified life coach. And if you're new to my channel, then I'm super glad that you found my video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below as well. So you are actually going to help me spread the word. And so yeah, this is going to support someone else as well. Now, if you're looking for a one-on-one coaching, then have a look into the description box. It actually just started today where I opened up my books for Jan 22. And with this, let's go. Difficult conversations and not really knowing how to show up in your closest circle, right? With people you love, people you care. It's hard. And most of the time, people don't really know how to behave and how to really express themselves because somehow it seems to be super complicated. And I do understand that part. I had very difficult conversations. And I believe there is one really important aspect to this. And I think that it's about the more you understand yourself, the more you understand from which place you're coming from, and the deeper your internal work, let's say, is already going, the more you see perspectives on how things really are, right? So we do have these difficult conversations where, they trigger us, right? They bring us back to our past. And not only once this has happened to me as well, where we were treated exactly as if we would still be 10 years old. Still the same kind of conversation, still the same kind of, you're too much, you're overwhelming. These were the kind of conversations I had. And I believe it's not so much about them, so let's not focus too much on they need to be able to say this or that or comfort you in a certain way. It's really more about you. It's really more about standing your ground, being compassionate to yourself, allow yourself to take space, right? Allow yourself to be present and allow yourself to observe. You see, allow yourself to observe what has happened in the past. Because most of the things that we experience is somehow still here in the present moment. And so if you don't want to live like that anymore, if you don't want to live those kind of traits over and over again, then you gotta look at it. And the problem here is that it's very painful sometimes, a lot of times. It's very painful because you start to realize what has happened. And it's not really about blaming, it's about viewing, accepting, right? And then actually integrating that this can go now. And the conversation we need, it's so important. But sometimes, see, we are not getting to this closure because not everyone actually wants to have this conversation, and you will not be able to drag someone to have this and to really communicate it on that level you would like to. So this though should not bring you in a place where you feel, okay, well, I just have to accept whatever they are saying because they are not able, they don't understand me. This is then when boundaries really come in. And boundaries are here to not really keep people on distance. They are here to really learn to understand who you are, where and how far you want to go, and also to take you out of the situation when this is really not acceptable anymore and hurting you actually. You see, I had in the past the same kind of conversation where I would receive an answer and I would actually make the conversation and I would say, hey, listen, you are hurting me here. And the response was, well, you need to accept me the way I am. And I'm not going to change for you. So this is the point where you learn, okay, this is your viewpoint. This is my viewpoint. Maybe we can somehow make this work in a balanced way. But see, if not, and if I understand that this behavior is hurting me, then I take ownership in this boundary I created, that I'm moving away. And it's your right to do so. See, the other person has the right to say, hey, this is the way I am, you have to accept it. Well, maybe in their head it is. In my place, in my heart area, it's not okay. And it's not okay to treat me that way. And if I'm telling you, I'm not telling you because I like to make fun of you or I'm not serious. I'm saying it because I really mean it. And then having the gut to actually having the heart for yourself to actually say, listen, you can do that, but there is a consequence to that. And the consequence is, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. And I'm okay with that. You see? And so having these difficult conversations are super important. But yes, sometimes it's not possible. And it's hard because we are still the kids, right? So we are the kids from someone's, and someone is the parent. And we get back into this kind of family circle. And it seems to be like as if we would be back 10 or 15 years old, whatever, and nothing has changed. Well, actually, everything has changed. And see, you have to give them space and yourself space to understand that you have changed. Because you now insert some rules. And rules are not here to put them on distance. Rules are here to make sure that you show up for yourself. You protect yourself. Because the more you protect yourself in a way and you soothe yourself and you make the self-care, the more you are able to give. Because the fuller your cup is, the more you're able to share. But you're not able to share if you're just empty. You see? Now I have another bullet point on my list, which is about expectations. Now, this is a really big topic, right? Because we expect them to say this, to be like that, to show up like this or like that. And I had a long period, I had really a trouble with these expectations because I knew what was expected from me, but I could never really follow up or follow through because these expectations were not aligned with who I am. They were not in my heart area. So I'm really more about doing things with my intuition and with with the heart space. Let's say I'm more in that area, and I follow that. But I have forgotten that really, really long, because I grew up in a way where everything you can see is real, everything you can hear is real. If you can touch it, is real. Now, but my world right now is going way above these 5 senses we have, you see? Because intuition is not something I have on paper and here is my proof. But I grew up with, I need a proof. I need a paper that shows here is the result. Here is this, here is that. But it made me unhappy, so unhappy, unbelievable unhappy. And I couldn't deal with what was expected from me, what was questioned to do, And so I believe that we all have that a certain way, expectations on what you do in your job, what you are doing in your private life, how it needs to look like, put you in a kind of a box. For me, felt very limited, very. But I'm not like that. I'm really more a free spirit, and I don't fit in that box, in that label, in that I need to be like this and like that, and so many rules. I don't like those things, I don't grow with that. That's for me really tight. So if I'm growing, or when I personally grow, I do things differently than my family would do it. I take maybe risks they would never do. I do things just very, very different. And I'm not anymore in that position where I need to explain myself, because I'm done with that. I'm done with over-explaining myself why I am the way I am. I started to do this internal work because I wanted to understand what is wrong with me, right? Why can I not be treated this and this way? And then I learned I need to treat myself that way first. In order to be loved, you have to love yourself first. Now it's so, this is such a, how to say, a big topic, right? And I think like self-care especially is talked so much, but I believe really it's true. You see, when you are doing this internal work and you're actually starting to really soothe yourself and to really see, hey, how am I talking to myself? What is my self-talk? What is reflecting from the outside back to me? You see? What is coming back? Is it maybe the same than I talk to myself, like internally, this chit-chat all day long? I remember times when the chit-chat, in my head, this constant talking, was super, super negative, very negative. And you need to understand that you can change that. You can actually impact that. But it is a work. It's internal work you got to do. And that's actually the work I'm doing with my clients on a one-on-one. So if you are interested, then have a look in the below description and get your discovery call as soon as possible in December, actually right now. The spots are open, but it's limited. So I'm only taking a few clients every cycle. And if that is for you, then have a look below. And yeah, it's really about doing this internal work, being present, learning to see not like this, but like this. What are my possibilities? Is it really already it? Is this really the life already? You see, family is great, but do they really know what is best for you? Most probably they don't, because they are not you. And it's okay that they may think that they are doing the best. But only you know what is the best. And in order to really follow through and to really learn to communicate, what is it that you need? What is it that you can give? What is it that you cannot offer? Because that's not you. That needs to be learned. And that's something you can learn. That's not something that is hidden for you. That is here. That is already here. So before having those difficult conversations, make sure that you're grounded. Make sure that you know what are these strong bullet points you want to talk about. And make sure that they are not coming out of a fear, kind of a fear conversation, because fear is always not really the place where you are ready to talk. So you got to do more reflection work. You got to do and show up, and actually, having fears is okay. But understand, what are these fears? Why are they here? What is it doing? And is it really true that they have so much power over me? Is it really true that if they reject me, that my life is over, for example? Is it really true? When we start to really question ourselves and we start to really dig deep, that's when we grow. You think they know better? I can for sure tell you they don't. For sure. They haven't lived the life you have. You are the expert of your life, and that is something that no one ever can take away from you, right? Sometimes we do need a little bit of help. And especially having those difficult conversations, if this is in family dynamics, if this is in friends dynamic, if this is in work environment, you see, when you're coming from a place of being grounded and learning or seeing who you are, and coming from this grounded, calm place, I think that's when you're making really good conversations. Really, really good ones. But if you're just snapping around and just screaming, or just like it's not overreacting, but when vibes are really high, when your emotions are really high, you're not making the best decisions. So you're not saying the best values. So if you really want to have this conversation, make sure to be calm. Make sure to have your bullet points in your mind or in your writing somewhere, and be prepared. Be prepared. How is this conversation gonna go? What is it that I need to say? What is it that I want to send out? Right? And always coming from a kind place. It's not really much about them. See, you cannot control them, but you can see how you react. What you put out in this world, this is on you. And the more you're giving out calm, peaceful, people will come back, because people start to see the way you really are. And that's what people really like. People like when you are authentic to yourself. They like when you are showing up for yourself. And the same is for your family, you see? And by the way, you have a family that is from the childhood, and you have a family that you have created or that you can create in adulthood. Okay? So just because you grew up in a family that really just doesn't understand you at all, doesn't mean that you don't have a family. It just means that your family may be different. And what's wrong with that, right? What's wrong with that? So we're on the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. And with this, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.